Alright, Broncos country, let's talk about Bo Nix, because I am seeing a lot of discourse on Twitter after the Broncos win last night 10-7 over the Las Vegas Raiders. I'm seeing analysts who I generally agree with saying that this was Bo Nix's worst game of his NFL career, and he was the main reason why the offense struggled last night. I disagree with that statement. I've seen every snap of Bo Nix's NFL career multiple times. I can tell you that he's had plenty worse games than this one. I think about the Jets game last year, the Seahawks game last year, hell, the Jets game this year, the game that we just played a few days ago against the Texans. I think those games were all worse than this game for Bo Nix. The offense was in really bad position for multiple drives in that first half. They started on their own 1 yard line twice after A.J. Cole had two of the best punts of his life. So, anytime you're backed up at your own 1 yard line, that's going to limit what you can call offensively. And there were multiple other possessions where, even though they weren't backed up at the one, they were still backed up deep in their own territory because of penalties. The penalties in this game were ridiculous. It was the fourth time this year that Denver had double-digit penalties. Did it help that Bill Vinovich was the ref, and we all know that Bill Vinovich hates Sean Payton? No, it did not. But the Broncos shot themselves in the foot with penalties that they could have avoided, like false starts, holding calls, jumping off sides. All of this stuff just completely put the Broncos behind the chains. It was ridiculous, and the offense had to contend with that on multiple drives. I think about the first drive that Denver got out of halftime, where they had a chance to go downfield and make this a two, or actually no, they had a chance to go and take the lead. It was still 7-7 at that point. It ended up where they had a holding call on the kickoff, so that backed them up to the 9 yard line. Then they had a false start, and that backed them up even more to a first down and 15 at the 4.5 yard line. You're not going to consistently move the ball when you're in those long yardage situations. They were in long yardage way too many times. The penalties knocked you behind the chains. You've got to stay ahead of the chains as an offense, and whenever you're in these long yardage situations, you can basically kiss that drive goodbye. The Broncos don't have a consistent enough intermediate and deep passing game to overcome this stuff. But Bo Nix actually did make a couple of throws in these long yardage situations in order to overcome it. But a couple of those throws got called back because of, you guessed it, penalties. There was one where it was an offensive pass interference on Pat Bryant. Another one, an offensive pass interference on Troy Franklin. Like, literally, dude, the Broncos could not get out of their own way in this game with penalties. Was Bo Nix perfect? No, he was not. He wasn't even good in this game. He had multiple misses. And we made a video about Bo Nix the day before yesterday, talking about some of the issues that he's had. And I want to state this again. I am a Bo-liever. I think Bo Nix has a chance to be a really good quarterback in this league for the Denver Broncos. But he's got to help us out. He's got to get there. We've got to see more strides. We've got to see more growth. We want to see that. I'm being critical of Bo Nix because I want to see more. I believe in him. We just need to see it. The consistency needs to be there. He had 2 interceptions in this game. Now, the first one, it was at the end of the first half. You were once again backed up because of a penalty. It was 2nd down and 15. You were on your own side of the field. It was like 43 seconds left. I think that the Broncos just told Bo Nix to throw it up right there and try to get yourselves to flip the field. If the defense comes down with it, at that point, it's just an arm punt. So that's what I feel like happened there with the first interception. The second interception, it looked like Pat Bryant went to catch it when he shouldn't have. It looked like Bo was throwing it to Troy Franklin. It threw off the trajectory of the throw. Troy Franklin dropped it. It ended up deflecting into the hands of the Raiders. So both of those interceptions definitely had stories behind them that kind of, not necessarily excused Bo Nix, but made it a little bit more understandable as to why those plays happened. Overall, his footwork is the biggest thing that's letting him down right now. We've talked about his footwork so many times. He's not marrying his upper body to his lower body, and he's not marrying his footwork to the actual route concepts. That's not something that I necessarily think can be fixed in the middle of the season. That's more of an off-season fix. But the good news there is it's very fixable. We see so many quarterbacks get better after they fix their footwork. Baker Mayfield, Sam Darnold. There's been so many examples. Josh Allen's probably the biggest one, where once they finally solved their footwork issues, that ultimately allowed them to open up their game, and that allowed them to become the players that we knew they were capable of becoming. I think that Bo Nix can get there. I really do. And if he does get his footwork situation solved, I think that he can become the franchise quarterback for the next 10 to 15 years for the Denver Broncos. But at the end of the day, he's not there yet. He's got to get there. He's not there yet, and that's the thing. We're going to continue to preach. We've got to get better. We've got to show incremental growth every single week. Developing a young quarterback can get ugly at times, Broncos country. There are going to be peaks and there are going to be valleys. But the Broncos are finding a way to win games despite these valleys from Bo Nix. Will it eventually come back to bite them if Bo Nix doesn't get better? Possibly. But they've got the best defense in the NFL. They've got an elite defense that can get them out of trouble. And also, they've got a run game that if they start leaning on it more, that can also get you out of trouble. That was one thing, too, that I saw a lot of discourse on Twitter. Why wasn't Sean Payton running the ball more? The Raiders were selling out to stop the run. Mike McGlinchey talked about it after the game in the locker room. He said that the Raiders were basically matching up their 11 personnel, three wide receivers, one tight end, one running back, with base personnel on defense. So with heavier bodies, they were literally selling out to stop the run, putting 8 guys in the box on almost every single running down. So the Broncos just couldn't get anything going in the run game under those circumstances. Now, Sean Payton also had a couple of head-scratching play calls. I thought the play calling as a whole was decent in this game, but that 3rd down and 1 play where he was trying to do that double pass with Courtland Sutton, what are we doing, dude? It's 3rd down and 1. Just run the ball and pick up the 1st down. For me, that's more of a 1st down play call as opposed to a 3rd down and 1 play call. But overall, I thought the play calling wasn't horrible, especially considering what you had to work with here. The run game, they were selling out to stop it. The Raiders' defense just overall played well in this game. That's another thing. I know people are going to say Denver needs to execute better, which they do, and Bo Nix needs to execute better. But you got to tip your hat at the Raiders' defense. Patrick Graham came into this one with a really good game plan. Pete Carroll as well. They knew what they needed to do. They knew how they were going to approach this game as I spilled something. They knew that they were going to have to contend with a mobile quarterback in Bo Nix. They did a good job with that, and they also did a good job of manufacturing pressure in this game. We saw the Broncos give up so many pressures up front. Max Crosby, Adam Butler, all those guys were in the backfield. The Raiders' defense just overall played well in this game. They deserve some flowers, but at the end of the day, Bo Nix needs to be better, and the overall execution on this offense needs to get better. And if it doesn't get better, then this team might start losing football games starting next week with the Kansas City Chiefs. All right, Broncos country, let me know in the comment section below, what is your letter grade for Bo Nix's performance on this game? I'm going to give him overall a C-. I didn't think he was amazing, but he made some nice throws on the run, made a couple of decent plays there. The interceptions, at least the second one, I don't think that was really on him. And even the first one, it wasn't exactly the best decision, but I wonder deep down, did the team say, Bo, just take a shot right there and see what happens? So I want to know your thoughts on Bo Nix's day, Broncos country. Drop those comments down below. I would love to hear your thoughts as always. Be sure to leave a like on this video as well as subscribe and ring the bell so these videos appear in your notification feed. I would really appreciate it, guys. Those are both free and easy ways to show your support. It helps tell YouTube's algorithm to push us out, and it helps us get seen by more and more members of Broncos country just like you and me. Additionally, if you guys want to go above and beyond in supporting the channel, please consider becoming a channel member today. I would really appreciate it. It's not mandatory whatsoever, but if you guys want some extra perks and incentives in exchange for helping me out and helping this channel grow, I would really appreciate it. The link is in the description below. Alright guys, and until next time, I'm your host Gage Madrid, saying peace out.